All right. Hey, everybody. It's Henry Harrison. Thank you for coming again today. And we're just going to take a look at the week of astrology, mostly the moon, and kind of reflecting on the transits that we've seen to the mundane astrology. Um, I want to thank God who gives wisdom and understanding that we can contemplate these mysteries unto his glory of his name and of his son's name, Jesus Christ. So I thank him for that ability, and I pray for his blessing over all this work. In Jesus' name, amen. If you can, hit the like and subscribe button. And also, if you can, I appreciate tips or donations to the links below. So, this week, the main feature that I really see, other than the transiting moon, is that Venus will also pass through the T-square to the nodes, as the sun already did. So if you've identified this area of your life, these two different areas that the north and the south node represent in your life, Venus will be making an appearance there too. I don't think it'll be as much of a personal power sort of difficulty or presentation as it was with the sun, but I think it could be a fateful circumstance related to the past and the future around value situations, and maybe a change in circumstances around value situations relative to where we're meant to go. And we'll get to that in the transiting moon, because I think that tempers it quite a lot. So this week we have the moon in Capricorn through the moon in Pisces, new moon. Alright, so if you watched my transits to the mundane astrology video, we talked about Mars square Mercury, Sun conjunct Neptune, Venus sextile Venus on the 10th, Venus conjoin Neptune on the 12th, and the Sun sextile the Mars Jupiter conjunction also on the 12th. So I'm not really going to dive into those. I will sort of allow them to temper what I think is going to happen this week relative to the moon. So let's just go to the hour by hour forecast, and we'll just talk about these things as they come up. So today, the moon is still waning through Capricorn towards the new moon. We already had the last quarter moon where the moon crossed over the south node. You know, we were picking up on emotionally and energetically on these themes relative to what the south node represents in your natal chart. I think it's very personal, and you need to know for yourself which it is. So you need to know which house that is for you, Sagittarius. So we were really picking up on that emotionally yesterday. But today the mood is a bit more tempered. You know, people often say that moon in Capricorn is like getting your emotions out of the way so that you can do the practical side of life. But you know, I think the moon in Capricorn is very sensitive to, you know, it's opposite to Cancer. So it's like the hidden, I feel like, more sensitive nature, but you know, it is more business oriented. It's more about structure and rules and conforming to those rules to achieve what we need. So it's sort of what we have to work with today, and most of tomorrow, I think. Yeah, tomorrow too. So go to the hour by hour. The moon will make the trine to Uranus today. Did that already happen? Yeah, that's pretty much right now. So our emotional activity, it's such a moon in Capricorn way to say it or think about it. Our emotions, you know, we're connected to these possibilities and radical changes and disruptions that are going on with Uranus and Taurus. And Saturn's still in the orb of Uranus and Taurus, and it's going to come back to a retrograde conjunction. I don't remember which way. I don't know if it's Saturn or Uranus retrograde, which is first that triggers it, but they're going to stay in orb all year and come to exact squares. So, but we can pick up on this energy in a good way. It's something different. So we can try to do something different today and sort of find value in a different way today. And I think we're seeing that also with the Venus coming to the square to the North Node, which is on Tuesday. So the Moon is sextile Venus exactly this evening, so could be a sweet time relative to value. Venus in Pisces is exalted. She's under the sun's beams, but I think the message is that if you let go and sort of give up your control, I think this is a lot of messages around Pisces, sort of letting go as much as you consciously can, we can find our way into the value situations and personal situations that we want. On that full moon in Virgo, I really felt like I understood something more about Pisces, because that's where the light was, and the moon is reflecting that on the opposite side. And it was like letting go, like on levels that I wasn't even ready for. Deeply letting go can really make room for the new. So I think there's still quite a lot of opportunity for that. I hope that all is pretty clear. All right. I looked at the term and the face information, sometimes called balanced dignity, but I didn't see any changes in it. One thing that I've not mentioned yet that I should is that Mars is now in Gemini. So let's take a quick pit stop and talk about the dispositions that have changed now. So now that Mars is in Gemini, he is ruled by Mercury, who is past the Jupiter conjunction, which is a whole story we should talk about. Which is ruled by Saturn. So there is this Mercurial Saturnian structure, order, that is determining the way this Mars can be expressed in Gemini. And that will change, I think next Monday in the PM, when the Mercury goes into Pisces, and the disposition will go to Jupiter and then Saturn. But for now, it's so. Mercury is governed by Saturn, and it's governing Mars. So when the moon gets into Aries at the end of the week on Saturday, that will be ruled by disposition Mars, the ruler of Aries, who is ruled by Mercury in this case. So it's a very different energy that we can expect at the end of the week, because we've not had this emotional connection or emotional rulership by Mercury through Mars in a long time. So we can well expect that. Segueing, I got a little bit more to say about that, but we'll just let it be because it sort of has more relevance on Tuesday. So we just keep going. The moon moves through the sextile to the sun in the morning. It's about 4 a.m. and then moves through the sextile to Neptune in the morning as well. So this is connected to the stellium of where the new moon will be on Friday. So this morning, I think if you can get in touch with, this deep spirituality, it will be beneficial. Look for the light around this area. So the moon continues through to the conjunction to Pluto. So I feel that there'll be quite a bit of a change of mood in the mid-morning towards the afternoon, and then at night on, there'll be pretty distinct different moods. And of course, our mood is tempered with Moon in Capricorn. Emotion is not the forefront. It's more about discipline and structure and playing by the rules, so to speak. The things that work, that are tested. And Pluto's there, so it's a very powerful, transformative energy that has moved through Capricorn. But to not say much more about that, this is the day that Mars squares the Mercury in Pisces of last year, so I feel like we can pick up on, if you live in this area or an area where a fixed sign was ascending last year, we can pick up on what it will be like for Mars to be ruled by Mercury in Pisces, which I feel could pose some difficulties in the next month. So I think this is more of a time. It's a time that you can pick up on that and maybe do some inquiry into what that energy really will be like for the future. I feel like that will be prudent. So yeah, it's nice in the morning. It's sort of connected to our spiritual, and in the evening, the Sun is conjunct the Neptune of last year. So I feel like there's a selfless dream-like quality to things that we can access on a personal level, and I would pray to God for the wisdom to do that. So people could be anxious, or there could be some situations of power that are manifesting more prominently towards the evening of this time, or when the moon is applying to Pluto, which is most of the day. So after that conjunction, the moon is void of course off of Pluto, which is not, it's not really what we would call fun, right? Especially with the moon in Capricorn. So, but on Tuesday, the moon will go into Aquarius, where the moon will be ruled by Saturn. So, and this is the day that the moon makes the T-square to the nodes. Let me just show you that. So that's in the morning. The moon makes the trine to Mars. So you can see that too. But the moon makes the trine to the Mars. So we're connected, like there are some possibilities for work and activity on the horizon, basically. Like we're just now in this new energy with the possibilities of this Mars ruled by Mercury. And if I may interject now, this Mars ruled by Mercury is very, very different than Mars in Taurus. I find myself having to adjust and learn whole new ways of doing things, just because of the nature of what I'm picking up on. More do I have to say about that? I'm not sure yet. I think I'm still sort of testing out what Mars in Gemini is, but I feel like if you're a student of astrology, you can understand what I'm saying. Even at this point, you know well enough how to determine what that is in your own direct experience. So it is very different, and I think it's in general good for our good for our business activity. So, and of course wherever you have Gemini in your chart. So this trigon of Libra, Aquarius, Gemini is very activated with the trine. So we're going to get a big boost to that, especially with Jupiter also in this, but it's all being tempered by Saturn. So, and I think we're picking up on that emotionally by the end of the day, as the moon has to go through the square to Uranus and the conjunction to Saturn. So on this basically structure and the way things have worked in the past is more emphasized, and it's more challenging, I believe, to access these transformative possibilities in Taurus, which could represent finances or land and resources, tangible resources. So overall, March 9th, Tuesday, moon is in Aquarius, so it is, more individual. It's more, especially with this whole section of degrees being in the approach to Saturn. The word restrictive is coming to me, but I feel like that's going to really depend on your individual situation. It's demanding discipline from us. It's demanding that we look at the future. We plan for the future. We've got these financial situations, these value situations with Venus relative to the North and the South Node, where we're going, what we're going to be building in the future, what we found value in the past, perhaps. But sorry, you all. I guess I'm starving here. Not really. I'm very blessed, but my belly. All right. So without any further ado, I think that's all pretty clear. We're able. This is the first trine we've had to Mars in Mars in Gemini. So I think we'll be able to use that energy very effectively in a disciplined way. And I would, we should expect some unforeseen situations, basically, to be coming out, some shocking situations, some difficulties. And I think that traditional work mindsets basically win, so to speak, in this configuration, with everything sort of going back to disposition to Saturn. So before we take too long here, let's so the moon, I'll just show you that. The moon goes through this. This could be difficult. I think it favors more traditional routine approaches to things. But it's still connected to these liberative, new, shocking, unexpected changes in our material environment. So I think it's very dependent on your personal situation what this will manifest for you, seeing this is the moon. So, all right. So the moon will move through Aquarius this day. Make the trine to the North Node, a sextile to the South Node. So we found that maybe an emotional balance with where we've been, where we're going. We're able to work with where we are right now much better in order to expand in this North Node side of things, especially with Jupiter right there. So we're really picking up on that. The moon is able to manifest that by and large. And then the sun will conjunct Neptune. So our personal energy is very connected with this mystical, dreamy planet of Neptune. And then the moon connects to Mercury. So, and then goes void, of course. Sorry, well, you've heard my belly this whole time. All right. Well, the moon connected to Jupiter and Mercury. I suppose this is a good time to talk about that. So the Mercury going past Jupiter on the longitude of the zodiac wheel, it was, for me, I was getting all this new information on a grand scale, and the blessing that I was praying for came through in a way that was consonant with this natural process. So I feel like we could be picking up on that side of things emotionally and how it's connected to where we're going and where we've been. This for the future, the possibilities of the future. So I think it's a great day to pray and thank God for the blessings He's done in our lives. My God. And what is that day? Wednesday. This is also the day that Venus is sextile Venus to the mundane revolution, mundane astrology. And I think since that was in the middle of the night on Wednesday, we might see it more on Tuesday afternoon. What time was that? Okay, yeah, so the moon was conjunct Saturn in the evening, so it's like finances tempered by restraint, restriction, planning for the future, um, kind of looking at the future and the structure from 1,000 meters up, so to speak, like Aquarius can do. Although with Saturn as that, we're restricted in the way we want to expand with all these different possibilities. So definitely get in touch with the knowledge that's come through for you and the communications and the lessons that you've learned with Mercury connected to Jupiter themes this time. Let's quickly look at the side view of the sky. So Mercury crossed the ecliptic on the 4th and then past Jupiter on the 4th. So just wanted you to see that. So Mercury is pretty much steadily chugging along below the ecliptic, and the moon will come up to it and connect with that next to Deneb Algedi, the tail of Capricorn, on March the 10th in the evening. And then the moon will go void of course. So praise God. I feel like there are many possibilities for blessing in this time without any superstition. So the moon will go void of course, and then by the 11th, Thursday, the moon will go into Pisces, where the sun is. So throughout all this week, I think we're really letting go more than initiating, if you want to think about that last quarter moon that way. I like that way of thinking about it. Let's see. So as soon as the moon goes into Pisces, we have our first square to Mars in Gemini. So we'll on a different level, we'll be able to pick up on this relationship of the Pisces to the Mars Gemini energy, and we'll kind of get a flavor or an emotional sense of what Mercury in Pisces will be about with the disposition to Mars, the way that Mercury rules Mars by disposition, and Jupiter will do so. I think it'll be okay though, because Jupiter by that time, or very close to it, Jupiter will go into his term or balanced dignity of Ptolemy at once he reaches the 20th degree. So it's only 1 degree until Jupiter is there, and so there will be a very strong Jupiter ruling Mercury, who's in detriment in Pisces when that occurs. So I feel like we'll be able to pick up on that, and the way that things don't quite go as well as they could, so to speak, or the way they're manifesting with tension or difficulty will show up here. I think the lesson though is to be able to very much let go and let God. So the moon will keep going, let's see here, into the sextile to Uranus. So we're able to pick up on these changes in a better way by March 11th. Okay, and my chart says that the Mars is now in the orb of the trine to Saturn. And why is that? I suppose it's because the Mars and Saturn are basically within 5-degree orb now. So the Mars will be applying to Saturn by this within a 5-degree orb from Thursday onward. When is that exact? I think it's on the 21st, Sunday. So from now until then, there's a much better, or a very easy flow between Mars and Saturn, which could be good or bad depending on the context you're talking about and the other configurations of the planets. It means that there's a very easy flow, and Mars energy can basically get transformed to Saturn and back very easily, especially with Mercury still going back to Saturn by disposition, in my opinion. That's how I read it. So, let's see. That's pretty much Thursday. It's going to be a time to let go and prepare to be planting new seeds of loving kindness with Moon conjunct Sun for the new moon. So let's just go by hour to hour here. And Venus will pass Neptune of last year on Friday, and then conjunct Neptune of this year on Saturday. So I expect quite a mystical, so to speak, time, dreamlike, connected to higher powers. So I think it's a good time to let go and continue to work on your spiritual path. Especially on the 12th year, also, the Sun will connect to Mars and Jupiter of last year by the sextile on Friday the 12th. So there are very many different energies going on, but we've at least identified them, isn't it? So the moon will go past through the square to the north node and the south node by noon on this day, and then conjunct Venus and Neptune. So it's a process of letting go that will allow us to get where we're going. I think there's a challenge to do that in these ways, in the Venus way, the Neptune way, the Sun way, so to speak, with Pisces. If Pisces is generally about letting go into a more unified field of awareness, so to speak. If you accept that, please accept it rightly with wisdom. All right. So that's, it's a Pisces moon kind of couple days, but it's the new moon, so it's letting go to plant the seeds for something new. And of course, that full moon awareness that will come when the moon is in Libra. I think things will be very different by that period. Consider just a week ago how different things were. We had to go through many different challenges, difficulties. We were still waiting for that Mercury to pass through the Jupiter that we need. And emotionally, there were different things we had to encounter. When the Mars was at the 29th degree, I was out working, and it seemed like there was an obstacle somewhere on every job that I did. At some point, something like a train just sitting on the tracks, not moving. The POS system at the restaurant I was at failed, so, just lots of the character obstacles was different than it is now, with Mars in the early degrees of Gemini, and connected to Saturn of this year rather than Saturn of last year. So the character of the way we're doing business has changed, and it will be going through changes as Mercury changes signs. So, and I want to say that Mercury in this area of the world will be the ruler of the second house, generally of business and money resource situations for the next year. So, let's see. What else do we have to say? Well, we'll just keep going. So this is the rest of Friday. So the moon will make the square. Of course, we have all that stuff I mentioned in the mundane astrology in the midst. So I imagine a lot of different energies of this character. If you're spiritually discerning, if God's giving you the wisdom for that, I think you'll be seeing more of it than someone who is not aware of such a thing. So the moon will pass through these two planets and then bring that light into the new moon, which I think is into the sun for the new moon. So the moon is as if being purified for the next cycle, and it's brought this Venus-Neptune energy into it. And now Neptune is generally a malefic planet, and I think Venus being there with it can bring some value and joy to there, especially in Pisces. But I think it's important not to lose awareness. Definitely be mindful. Don't get lost in dreamlike illusions or daydreaming, because I think this is a good time to be very aware, let go, and that doing so will allow us to clear out the past and allow us to move on to the future, so to speak. So the moon will... So it's not until early morning hours that the moon goes through that new moon, makes a sextile to Pluto, and then goes void of course. So the moon is void of course off a sextile to Pluto for the new moon. It's a time to initiate new activity, generally speaking, with the new moon. Just getting it started. We've let go, and we just kind of take that lesson and let it create new situations for us. And the moon will go into Aries on the evening of that day, the 13th. And from that place, make a sextile to Mars. So it's a very good... I think we'll be able to really be off to the races, so to speak, for our business and generally what we're trying to do with Mars in our lives. And generally what the Gemini represents for you in your natal chart. Which house is that? The activity, we can be really connected to that and making a lot of work there, really, I think is the most general way I can put it. So that's about all I have for you guys. I think I'll just end it on Saturday, seeing that I'll probably want to make the next video on Sunday again. Hope that was useful, hope it was helpful, hope it was insightful, and I hope you will be blessed in the name of Jesus Christ. So I thank you all, and I hope you have a good week ahead. God bless you all.